Yep, just got back from watching Borderlands. For those of you who read the title of my video and you were like, oh, interesting, somebody who actually enjoyed the movie, let's go see what he has to say. Well, I fooled you. You've fallen right into my trap. This movie's a fucking pile of shit. I went into this movie with really low expectations already because, I mean, you've all heard by now, IGN gave... Wow, that was horrendous. IGN gave this movie a 3 out of 10, and on Rotten Tomatoes it has a 0%. And IGN is known for being very lenient with reviews. They give the worst shit imaginable a 7 out of 10. So a 3 out of 10, I didn't believe it was a movie. I thought it was just a still image for like an hour and a half. But no, there is a movie here, if you can call it that. Unfortunately, I think the picture probably would have been more entertaining. So, like I said, I went in with really low expectations, and yep, it met my expectations. I obviously have a lot of bad things to say about this movie, but I am gonna, spoiler alert, not for the movie, spoiler alert for this video, I actually have some good things to say too. I know. You can throw rocks at me, stone me, but I've seen a lot of people saying it deserves a 1 out of 10. I gotta disagree. I think that's a little harsh. There are some good scenes. Yeah, maybe it's only 2. But there were some good scenes. And to me, that means it wasn't a 1 out of 10. I feel like if there's anything enjoyable in the movie, it doesn't deserve a 1 out of 10. So IGN's rating of like a 3 out of 10, pretty accurate. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start going over all of the stuff I don't like about this movie. So as Kevin Hart's portrayal of Roland would say, buckle up, I've got a plan. The movie opens with Roland kidnapping Tiny Tina. So the first character you're introduced to is Tiny Tina. I will say, whoever wrote the lines for Tiny Tina kind of got it right a little bit. Like there were some lines that I could definitely see her character in the game saying. However, the actress that was playing Tiny Tina was not very good at delivering these lines. She did not have even close to the same energy as Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina is constantly screaming to the top of her lungs. This character was just kind of just talking, like she's just speaking the lines that were given to her. The most energy you'll see out of this actress is her skipping in the same way that Tiny Tina would. Like, literally, physically skipping. So that was disappointing. The second character introduced to, aside from Roland, I'll get to Kevin Hart later because he's a bigger part of the movie. The second character you're introduced to is Krieg. The first time you see Krieg, he has a different mask than what he has for the rest of the movie. I don't know what happened, but this mask that he has in the beginning is the most cheap-looking piece of shit plastic I've ever seen. Like, Michael Myers just took a Captain Kirk mask and turned it inside out and wore it, and that looks better than what they put on Krieg in the beginning. His mask does change, and maybe I'm crazy, but I think it looks better after he changes into like his main outfit that he'll wear for the rest of the movie. So Krieg is a very mixed character for me. He has really good voice lines. Like all his lines are pulled straight from the game. It's things I've actually heard Krieg say while playing Borderlands 2, and they're delivered very well. Like maybe I just haven't played Borderlands 2 in a while, but to me it sounds like the voice is exactly the same as it is in the game. I'm sure the voice actors are different. I haven't looked into it, honestly. I'm not going to check because I'm trying to forget that this movie exists right now. But whoever voiced Krieg, good work. However, there is a second side to that coin. Whoever is actually physically portraying Krieg, like the body walking around as Krieg, I think he's a statue. He has to be like an animatronic or something because there's no emotion. Like, when you're playing as Krieg in the game, he does this little maneuver right here. He'll stand up, he'll spread his arms like this and his legs, and he'll run around like this. This guy's standing like this the whole time. That's it. He walks around everywhere like this. Even whenever he's screaming to the top of his lungs, he'll go, "I'm gonna lick your spine clean." Except what I did right there is more movement than he had in the entire movie. There's actually a shot of a close-up of Krieg's face not saying a line. I don't remember what the line is, but it's one of his, like, screaming lines from the game. You're looking right in his eyes. His head does not move. His eye does not move. The only explanation I have for this is that the person voicing Krieg and the person playing Krieg are not the same person. I don't think that's very far-fetched. I think you can... That seems pretty obvious to me whenever you watch the movie. But here's the catch. Whoever they got to physically portray Krieg, walk around as him, I think they told him this is a silent film. So he doesn't understand that he's going to have lines. He thinks he's just this big motherfucker walking around and has no purpose in the movie. It's like he doesn't understand that he's beside all of the main characters in the movie, so he's going to be in a lot of shots. I think he thought he was an extra. So the next character you're introduced to, we'll go ahead and do Roland. Kevin Hart didn't have a lot of jokes. I expected him to be cracking jokes the entire time. He wasn't. He was trying to play a serious character. Unfortunately, Roland, he just doesn't act like Roland. And I don't think that's Kevin Hart's fault. I think the people that were writing the script didn't know what they needed Roland to say. Because Roland's supposed to be like this badass leader of the Crimson Raiders. That's his story in Borderlands. In this, he's kidnapping Tiny Tina. That's it. Well, not kidnapping, rescuing, but he's not a leader in this movie. There is like this sacrificial scene, and he doesn't die, but there is like this sacrificial scene where he's trying to have like this big heroic moment, and even that comes off like really cheesy. He doesn't feel like Roland the whole time. I don't know if that's Kevin Hart's fault or the people that wrote Roland, but either way, it was not good. But it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. And next up, we have Cate Blanchett, I think that's how you pronounce it, as Lilith. She is... Let me Google her age real quick. Yep, just as I suspected, she is 55 years old. I don't know if you've ever played the Borderlands games, but Lilith is not 55 years old. And I'm not trying to call this woman unattractive. She looks good for her age and everything, but you can tell she's in her 50s, and that kind of takes away from the character for me, because Lilith is not meant to be an older person. That, however, is not my biggest complaint about Lilith's character in this movie. My biggest complaint is that Cate Blanchett didn't try. Her acting was really fucking lame. She acted like she was bored the entire time. And she probably was, honestly. I don't blame her. But every time you see her in a scene, she is really doing the bare minimum there. She's just trying to get through this. She wants to get to her next coffee break. That's all she cares about. Her portrayal of this character is horrendous. And Lilith is insufferable the entire movie. Not just because of the acting. She's just a bitch to everyone. And for some reason, the entire movie is centered around her. And by the way, Lilith doesn't become a siren until the end of the movie. I should have said I was going to get into spoilers before I made this, or at the beginning, but, I mean, honestly, if I spoiled the movie for you, I'm really saving you the trouble here. Don't waste your money. So Lilith doesn't become a siren until the end of the movie, which means before that, her entire character is... well, nothing. She doesn't have one. It's, I hate Pandora. Fuck, I hate Pandora. Fuck, this planet's a shithole. I hate Pandora. They don't say fuck because it's rated PG-13 for some reason. But you get it. Her entire character is, I hate this planet, and my mother left me when I was young. That's it. That's all she's got. Up until the point she becomes a siren, which is the last 10 minutes of the movie. And then next you are introduced to Claptrap, who is voiced by Jack Black. Going into this, I was pretty upset about this casting because Claptrap is not, a physical human being. He is a robot that they are obviously going to use either practical effects or CGI for, meaning the person who's voicing Claptrap does not have to appear on screen, and he doesn't. So why would you not just get the original voice actor for Claptrap? It's really just to put Jack Black's name on the movie. And I still feel that way. It obviously would have been better if Claptrap's original voice actor was there. But, that being said, Jack Black did a good job voicing Claptrap, and whoever was writing the lines for Claptrap also did a good job, because Claptrap is the best part of the movie. And if you've played the games and you know what kind of character Claptrap is, that's rough, buddy. If Claptrap being on screen is my favorite thing to see during this hour and a half, you got something wrong. You got to rewrite the formula here. It's something's all out of whack. And at the beginning of this video, I said I was going to mention things that I actually liked about the movie. That is one of them. For the first half of the movie, I'd say, every time Claptrap's on screen, it is fun. He's genuinely funny in the movie, I think, for a while. But I think he overstays his welcome. He is in a largely unnecessary amount of scenes. It's like every other scene is Claptrap. And it gets old. It really does. While I'm mentioning some things I liked about the movie, one other thing I want to say is everyone said the CGI was really bad, and by no means is it on par with most modern movies, but it's not horrendous. The way that everybody's talking about it, I was expecting to go into this and see some original Star Wars trilogy 1970s fucking CGI. They're exaggerating. It's really not bad. Another thing I liked about the movie a lot was the costume design. I think the characters, as well as the atmosphere of the setting and everything, was very Borderlands. It really did feel like you were looking at Pandora. I think they captured the atmosphere very well. But that's the last thing. So now, unfortunately, we have to get back to all of the shit I hate about this movie. So, the next character is Tanis. I don't know if the people who wrote this have ever played the games. I don't know who Jamie Lee Curtis thought she was playing. She's nothing like Tanis at all. Not even close. And also, just a side note, if you're only going to have 5 of the main characters in the games in this movie, why the fuck is Tanis one of them? Who cares? Who is out there playing Borderlands and they're like, oh my god, Patricia Tanis better be in the movie or I'm gonna freak. Just replace her with Brick or Mordecai or anyone else in this game that's worth a damn. Sir Hammerlock. Replace her with Sir Hammerlock, please. And the worst part of the whole movie is the plot and the dialogue. I don't think the people that wrote this have ever played a Borderlands game in their life. And if they have, maybe they have dementia. I'm not really sure, but it has nothing to do with any of the Borderlands games, really. There's just references to, the Vault, and that's about it. That's all you got. The main antagonist is really boring. His name is Dr. Atlas, and he's just so generic. He has no personality at all. He's just like, oh, Lilith, you've fallen right into my trap. And it's just corny shit like that. And I know they haven't actually played the games because there's no way they would have come up with this if they actually played the games. But if you do ever play the games, I would recommend playing Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel because there's actually a villain in Borderlands that is written very well. His name is Handsome Jack, and you could put him in the movie about the game. You can actually pull good shit from the game and put it in the movie. I know, it's crazy, but it's just a thought I had whenever I was watching. And at the end, this is a big spoiler, so sorry. But at the end, they do finally open the vault, and they get in there with the main antagonist. It's Lilith, Tiny Tina, and the main antagonist in the vault. And if you've ever played Borderlands, you know that whenever you open the vault, you have to fight the Guardian. Well, not in this movie, buddy. There is no boss fight in there. The only time you see what I assume was supposed to be the Guardian is these big-ass fucking tentacles, which just look exactly the same as the Threshers that were in the movie previously. They come out and they grab the main antagonist and kill him, and there's no fight at all. He doesn't care that Lilith and Tiny Tina are there, I guess. Actually, now that I think about it, there is some lore in the game, I think, that says the person that puts the key into the vault actually has control of the Guardian inside of it. So, I take it back. It makes sense why it wouldn't attack Lilith and Tiny Tina. I think it is on their side at that point. And some of the dialogue, like I mentioned earlier, Kevin Hart's beautiful line, "Buckle up, I've got a plan." There's a lot of really generic and cheesy stuff like that in this movie. My favorite, oh god, it was so beautiful. I was taken aback whenever I was watching. There's the scene where Lilith is talking to Tiny Tina, and she says, "Your father is Dr. Fuck. It was just, I'm sorry, it was so good that I can't capture it the same way that they did in the movie. I'm gonna tear up thinking about it. It was so pretty. She says, "Your father is Dr. Atlas, right?" And Tiny Tina says, "Yes and no." And Lilith says, "It wasn't a yes or no question." Well, let's back up a little bit. Let's go over that again, just in case you missed it. Dr. Atlas is your father, right? It wasn't a yes or no question. So what if the answer is not yes or no, what is the right answer? Maybe I'm just too stupid to get it. Can you explain it, please? Please. So, I mean, like I said at the beginning of the video, 3 out of 10 I think is, yeah, it's a pretty accurate score for this. I was really bored and hated every second of what I was watching that entire time, and maybe you'd enjoy it a little bit more if you haven't seen the Borderlands movies. It's still not a good movie by any means. Fuck, if you haven't played the Borderlands games, I meant. So if you're going in this not being a fan of Borderlands, maybe the score is a little bit higher for you. I'd say it's probably going to end up being like a 5 or 6 out of 10. If you've played the games and you're going into this expecting Borderlands, well, I hate to burst your bubble, but that's not what you're getting, so it is absolutely like a 2 or a 3. But that's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. It is horrific, and I actually planned on uploading the Dexter video I made yesterday before I was going to upload this, but since I just went and watched Borderlands tonight, I think I'm going to go ahead and pump this video out, and then you'll see the Dexter video tomorrow. And I think at the end of that Dexter video, I said, like, pretty much what I'm saying right now. I think I said, tomorrow you're going to see the Borderlands video. But that's not going to be the case. You will have already seen the Borderlands video by the time that video comes out now. No, I'm not going to go back and edit it, because honestly, I don't give a fuck. But that's about it. See you guys. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already.